This video is for making the pediment of the Parthenon. Zoom in on this corner or the other corner and draw a line, a little guideline, 6 feet away from the corner on this surface here. You shouldn't be editing anything. It'll be just right on top of this previous group that you made. So once you finish that, with the rectangle command, select the endpoint and go to the other corner of the building and pick there. Now when it's shimmering like that, that means you have a surface on a surface, and typically that's not good, but we're not finished with this. So it should be shimmering for right now. Now, once you've done that, we are going to make this a component. So I'm going to double pick it so I can pick the surface and the perimeter. Right click and make component and just name it Pediment. Glue to any and make sure there's a little check mark there and pick create. And it says this because I've already made one, and I'm just going to say yes. Okay, so now you have to remember to edit this before you start working with it. Okay, so we're going to get into editing mode by right clicking on it and picking edit component. The next step is to draw a line perpendicular here from the midpoint in the green axis direction to the other side midpoint. Okay, and then with the move command, you're going to select that line and move it up in the blue axis direction 16 feet. So don't worry about this being the wrong color. We can reverse faces later. Zoom in on the end of the slope here where we're going to draw a little profile, and that profile, just with a pencil line, up 6 inches, green axis direction 6 feet 6 inches, down 6 inches, and back to here. Okay, you should have a surface there forming. Now zoom in on this little piece that's sticking out a little bit, and this is where we're going to draw a little profile of a peak here, or a beak rather. And just with the 2D arc, I'm just going to pick here and make sure I'm going to reposition my view and get a little closer so I can pick there. Okay, so just anywhere is fine, something like that. And then from here this way, another, and it's probably best if you see the cyan colored arc there before you pick. Okay, that'll give us a nice smooth transition right up here. So once you've done that, then just with the erase command, swipe over the corners to delete them. Okay, so there's our little profile. And this is the tricky part here, using the follow me command. Typically students will pick this as the path, and that's the wrong thing to do, because we don't want this profile here to end up on this side, just in the front. So using the follow me, you can do it a couple different ways, and the manual way is to take this surface and go up to the peak and then down the other side. So if I immediately go to follow me, I can select this surface, and I'm not holding my finger down, I'm just moving my mouse, and you see the red line in the back. If I go up and down, and now the red line switches to the front, and when it stops right there on the end point, you can pick. Okay, so you can see that this little profile is not on the back. And if I go to the other side, it's the same way. Okay, so it's always good to come to the other side to make sure that everything is okay on this side, and it's the same as this other side. Okay, now the other way I'm going to show you is a little safer if you're not very comfortable in using your mouse to guide it over the peak. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to position myself a little bit like this. And the way you're used to is to first select the path. And again, you're not selecting the surface. You're selecting either this line and this line, or this line and this line. Because the path is going up and over, I'm going to select this line, hold down my Shift key, select that line, and then go to the Follow Me icon and just simply pick this profile. And we get the same results. That might be a little safer, okay, a little easier. Whichever one you want to do, that's fine. Okay. After you do that, you can see that we don't really need to reverse the faces anymore, but we do need to fill this little gap here by just going with the pencil and picking those 2 points. Get near it so you can see where you're picking, like that. It should fill in like that. And then come to the other side and position yourself where you can pick those 2 points on this side. It fills in. And that's the step for making that top part of the pediment. The next step is to fill in this front face. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit like this and look underneath it. And I can pick a line from there to the other side. And make sure that you always have the color of access line that you need. And in this case, it's red. So I'll pick there. It'll fill in most of the face there, but we still have this little gap underneath here. So I'm going to pick right here and then go back to this part, zoom in, and pick there. Okay, so we filled in, we don't have any gaps underneath here. And then for the face here, we need to offset a couple of lines. And if you go to the offset and you pick here and you get this, that's not the way we're doing it, okay? We don't need to offset all 3 lines. What we're doing is just offsetting 2 lines. So we're offsetting this line, hold down the Shift key and pick this line here, okay? So you have to get close enough to see that. Now you can go to the offset and select that little red grip when it's on the line, and then move your mouse downwards a little bit, and this is going to be 30 inches. So 30, enter. Okay. Now this will hang over a little bit, as you can see, but we'll trim that in a little bit. So this part in here needs to be pushed in. And if it's offset, if it's limited to 3, you can just pick it again and then go in. I think the distance is 36. I've already done 3, so another 33 inches. Okay, now I'm going to my erase command and make sure I'm going to pick these little excess lines from our offset. And then I'm going to look around. Now, you can see that this is shimmering, okay, and that occurred because we have that offset there. So we really only need the one surface there, so I'm going to select that and delete it, okay, so it's not shimmering. Now this surface that you're seeing here is part of this surface. So I'm going to look around, get close to it, make sure it looks okay. So it should look like that. It overhangs a little bit here. And the middle part of the pediment in here, this triangle, gets pushed back. So it looks good on that side and this side. So that's it. So I'm going to double pick out here, just picked it like this, and that's our component.